What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we just saw another blood red market. All right, things are looking very gloomy, at least at first glance, but we're going to look at some things that are actually not so gloomy in the market right now. Things are actually starting to look fairly good in my perspective. Obviously, I've been saying that for a while, but things are really starting to turn up in my opinion. All right, so first off, you can see, yes, the S&P is falling pretty dramatically today, down 1.71%, and this is following good news that we got yesterday regarding inflation. Okay, inflation for the first time yesterday in over half a year has actually been decreasing, right? We actually saw inflation move down for the first time in almost half a year. The first time of 2022, we saw inflation move down from 8.5 to 8.3% annualized. Now, we also got these numbers from the Fed, okay? What's even more impressive about this inflation report that we got yesterday is that month over month inflation fell by 75%. Okay, the March numbers were 1.2% month over month inflation. In April, we saw 0.3%, the lowest numbers since September, the lowest numbers that we actually have on this little chart that the Fed gives us as a record, right? All the other readings are 0.8, 0.6, 0.6, 0.7, and 0.9%, and we just got 0.3, the lowest yet. Okay, this is obviously a good thing for the markets, right? To see that inflation is falling pretty dramatically. It's potentially going to give the Fed some leeway to be not quite as hawkish as they have been in the past, and that could potentially be good for markets. Now, what's really interesting me about the way the market is moving down today is that you can see it's mostly larger market cap stocks, and that is an indication to me that potentially we are starting to reach the bottom, right? When the big dogs are falling in a big way, that is when I think we're potentially reaching a bottom, right? When people are selling out of even the safe stocks, we're reaching max fear. And at a certain point, you're going to run out of sellers, right? You're looking right now at a market map, and you can see that a lot of the larger market cap stocks, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook, they're all very red. And you can see some of the more medium-sized market cap stocks are actually a little bit green today, right? But what's very interesting is when you look at the full market map, you actually look at all the stocks in the market, you can see a whole bunch more green, especially in those smaller market cap stocks, right? Smaller, potentially more risky stocks are actually not suffering as much as the really big dogs, right? The Apples, the Microsofts, the Googles, the Nvidias. And that's exactly what I hope to see towards the end of a big market meltdown, a big market crash like we have been seeing over the past while. I mean, the S&P has just been plummeting. Even today, down 1.77%. But what's interesting is the Russells is down less than a third as much. You can see the Russells right here, only down 0.59%, nowhere near as dramatic as the fall that we're seeing in the S&P, right? Three times, or the S&P is falling three times as much as the Russells is today, which in my opinion is very good. I'm glad to see that the smaller market cap stocks are starting to have a little bit more protection from these falls. They've obviously fallen a whole bunch. And if you look at a very long-term chart for these smaller market cap stocks, you can actually see that they have fallen so dramatically that they've actually reached levels that they were at in 2018. All the way over here, we have just once again reached those levels, meaning that these small market cap stocks, in my opinion, are incredibly cheap, right? The S&P, if you look at the same time frame, is not nearly as cheap, right? The S&P, the larger market cap stocks, they've fallen, and they've fallen quite a ways. In fact, they've fallen down over 20% from the highs. So it is a very scary drop to see the S&P down that much. But once again, the fact that they are falling much more than these small market cap stocks, that the small market cap stocks are actually starting to come back, is an indication to me that potentially we are reaching a market bottom. Now, there's no guarantees here. We could certainly fall for a couple more days, a couple more weeks. Maybe we even enter a huge recession and fall for a couple more months. But I just don't think that that's going to be the case, right? I think that at the very worst, we do potentially fall for a couple more weeks, but I'm prepared for anything, right? I'm not throwing all of my money into the market. It's always a good idea, in my opinion, to have some cash on the sidelines. I'm just buying stocks that I find to be a good value, which at the moment I think are the smaller market cap, technically more risky plays, but at this time they are seeming much less risky, right? They have fallen so much more and become so much more undervalued than the larger market cap stocks that I just think there's too good of an opportunity there for me to be passing up. And of course, that's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. If you guys appreciate the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.